Hey folks, check this out. I am in the bowels of Northfield, Vermont, in front of the South Village
Sugar Shack.
There you go, folks. This is Jamie Duprey, the owner and proprietor of the South Village Sugar Shack. And what are we doing this weekend, Dupe?
We're gonna boil a little sap, hopefully make maybe 10 gallons of syrup. We're a pretty small operation, so if things go well, we'll get maybe 10 gallons.
There you go. Okay, so step one is we got to go to where the trees are tapped, right?
We're gonna collect some sap. We're gonna run maybe 120 taps on vacuum, so it's not a huge operation. And we'll probably aim for 3 days worth of running due to the weather. That's the plan.
Okay, and then we're going to get that stuff. We're going to bring it back here and get to work.
That's it.
All right, we are in the process of sugaring. And where are we, Dupe? And what exactly is step one here?
So this is our smaller sugar bush. There might be 120 taps here. It's just a hobby setup for us. But this is the one that's south facing. There's no snow here anymore. Everybody else has got snow. So this is an early sugar bush for us for run. And we hooked up a little pump here because we've only got 120 taps. But it seems to be working. Things are running like crazy right now.
And so, you got over the hillside here, you got lines running through how many trees approximately?
There's probably 115 trees. 5 of them have 2 taps. So we're running about 120 taps. And what we do is run 3/4 inch main line to smaller, maybe, 3/8 all the way up to each tree, tap it, bring it back down here to this little vacuum pump. And as long as there's no leaks, things work good. So this is as basic as it gets for a vacuum pump. This little arm, each time it goes up and down, there's a little check valve here and a check valve here, a little diaphragm, and it opens one up and shuts one. So it will suck all the air and liquid into this area, and then it will open this one up and spit it out. And each time this one closes, it builds vacuum. This is as basic as it gets. And then if you come over here, it's about 70 degrees today, and that's a little bit too warm. So this is a decent run for us for 120 taps.
So what's pouring out right now?
That's sap.
Really?
So that's
And it's
maple
usually
sap.
that, and is that clear, huh?
Yeah, so as long as it's clear, it's good. The more it turns yellow later in the season, the shorter amount of time that you have to cook it, to boil it off. It'll make darker syrup the more yellow the sap gets, and then it'll get a citrusy smell and big bubbles towards the end of the season, and then you know that your time is about done.
Okay, so we're in mid-March, late March. So what's the hope for today with this pull from the trees?
So the last 2 or 3 days, it got real cold at night and warm during the day, and our storage tanks at the sugar house are full. So we're gonna boil all night tonight. We're gonna start in the morning, boil all day tomorrow, all night tomorrow night, just to try to have room. This tank will be full tomorrow, so we'll pull this out and try to make room for it at the sugar house. So we're right in the middle of it right now. We're gonna be busy for a few days.
Okay, and that's where we're going next?
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, we'll go up there and get things set up, put the beers on ice, and make that sugar house warm.
All right, back in a flash. All right, I'm back with Bo now. We're by the mechanism. So, Bo, can you explain to me what this stuff means? What are the numbers all about?
So this is our little gauge thing that tells us how much pressure we have built up.
Yeah.
And right now, that's a pretty good suction.
Yeah. It says it's almost, what, 23, 24? That's good?
Yeah. That's good for our thing.
Yeah.
Our setup, I guess. But, say I took a needle, right?
Yeah.
And I put a little hole in that line right there, it would drop all the way to 0. So the tighter the line gets, and it can't have any leaks. So the tighter and more secure all the taps are and stuff, the higher that number will go.
And that's what we want.
Yeah.
And it's cool, just you can see that sap flowing in right through that tube right now.
So this is as basic as it gets. We drop a sump pump down in here with an 1.5 inch pipe. We're going to transfer the sap from our collection tank to our transfer tank and head back to the sugar house to keep cooking. It was warm last night and really warm today, no sun. 170 gallons is a pretty good pull for us. So we're gonna be cooking all night. Should be a good night.
So the one thing I want to ask, Dupe, is you mentioned how this sap is starting to get a little cloudy, like you can't see the bottom of the tank.
That's right. So last night was very warm. It was like 45 degrees at night, and it's 55 degrees today with no sun. The warmer the temperatures, the more cloudy the sap gets. If we get 4 or 5 days in a row where overnight temperatures don't go back down into the 20s where it freezes, the season will be over for us. And you can tell by the cloudiness of the sap. It's 3 or 4 days away right now unless we get a cold snap.
Really? And then when you know it's fun, you said it has like a citrusy odor to it?
Yeah, those bubbles will get real big on top of that sap. Real glossy bubbles. It'll have a orange peel type smell.
Yeah.
You might get 1 day out of that. And then any kind of syrup you make after that will go to a commercial facility where they'll make beef jerky or they'll sell it for baked beans.
Oh, no kidding.
That kind of stuff, the really dark syrup. We don't really make any of that. It's very hard to filter. And we don't really have a market for it, so we'll end it earlier than most sugar houses would. Yeah.
Gotcha. What are we doing, Dino?
We're testing the sugar content and the sap from last night. It'll tell you how much sugar is in it.
Not very much.
So that's like a 1.5.
Not very much.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
What did you say?
1.5.
This is where we deposit the sap to and this pump's usually going when we do that, and it follows. We can't really follow the pipe all the way because it goes over the roof at one point, I think, and then comes around here and into this big silver tank.
Okay.
Which, since we had a few good runs recently, this is like the fullest it's ever been. Like, brimming.
All right, so that guy's full in there. Really full. We'll slide that back. Fingers.
Okay. So that's where it all comes to once we get it out of the truck. And then back here, this is the pipe that leads into the sugar house.
Okay, let's
This
show
one.
that.
And
That goes right in the
then-
house. All right, and then
Yeah.
we'll make our way in. Hold on, folks. Where are we? Is it the South Village?
Yeah, this is the
South Village Sugar. The South Village Sugar House.
So this is the glue brush,
Yep.
and some people don't use it, but I do
Yep.
to clean out the glues, I guess. So
Hold
that
up. Bo's got the flu brush out.
more.
There's a weird old man drinking behind you. Should we worry about him at all?
Heyo!
Oh, that's- He comes with a shack?
He lives here.
Man in the walls.
So why are we doing this, Bo?
So that more air can come through to get a bigger fire, pretty much.
Okay, a hotter fire faster. Yep. All right.
Okay, Bo, we'll start from the big tank
So when
outside.
is
This
this
is
gonna be
Jamie's
aired?
back here.
We already did
When is
that.
this going to be released on Netflix?
It's on the bridge.
So if you come over this way,
All right, I'm with you, Bo.
this is the pipe we showed you.
Oh, that was from the outside coming in. So
Yes,
that's yeah, okay.
Get over here! Oh my gosh, I'm so
so pissed that I feel watch this musical.
Yes, it's
You can skip out.
No, I can't.
that thing
I'm
keys
trying
off
to get in the
spring.
lineup.
What's
the
that?
batting
That thing
lineup.
keys off
So,
spring. Not mine.
Acts like Val. What are you yelling at me for now? What did I do? If your snacks are falling all over the floor. That's fine. That's fine.
So I was just
I want to step on your top.
like,
5-second
lived
rule.
with us, and then
All right,
Jamie
Bobo,
lived with
you want to
us.
start from the side over here?
Yeah.
We counted them both.
All right. Be loud, Bo.
So,
Loud, loud, loud.
so we already like kind of went over that pipe. My dad's gonna explain that later. This is the float where all. This is like the pipe where all the sap comes through after it goes down over there, and this is the float to make sure that it only a certain amount comes out. If you look,
So I'm getting a tight shot of this. All
Jump right back into it. Following.
right, so that's the float.
right under there's like a little rubber stopper, and if
see
you
you in
in this
rows,
floating
walk
up
in,
will hold it
walk
up
down here.
so that us only a little amount, only a certain amount comes out, and once the level
almost
is in,
yelled at you, and I was
once
like,
it
no.
goes down there, this level will get lower, so
We were
and
down
so will
on
the,
State
and the
Street.
float will lower, and then
practicing
more
for
stuff will
license
come out of
with
here.
Val's car.
until
I
it
see
goes
you
back
and Rose
up.
walk by, and I'm like,
Okay, and this ends
almost
up-
just yelled out the
And
window,
This
and
ends up in here and then down
and
here.
then down here.
I'll have to.
No, I don't think so.
Through
It's
this.
just the two of you.
That,
Yeah.
through over there.
Gotcha.
And
The
this is
day of my game where I ate shit.
our other float
I was at the second.
right here.
Okay, well, mom and dad missed it. As soon as I cracked that ball off
So,
that bat, I
this
started
is-
running.
Yeah, this is where the sap comes out. Eventually, we have to go through there, and then over there is where we draw off. Once we
Right,
get
and
it.
we'll show that in a bit.
After this little gauge on the other side says 7. Then we draw off.
All right.
Once it reaches 7, that means it's maple syrup.
So there you go, folks. So you see the gauge has got to hit number 7 for that float to move. And then we're talking. So in the meantime, we got to heat this thing up, right?
Although, why is it 7?
Because I forget. You told me earlier. I forget.
So, sap becomes syrup when it hits 219 degrees. That's 7 degrees past where water boils. So that 7 is what we're aiming for, and then we test it with a hydrometer, right, to make sure it's exact.
Ah, who's this guy right here?
That's not bad at all.
I'm trying.
This is our fan thing. We've got We've got like a fan out there, and then like a dryer tube thing leading up to right there. And then there's a little mark right there. That's where you usually turn it up to, and then it'll blow more air into that.
So it takes cold air from outside and throws that cold air right underneath that fire and lets it roar. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. When does it come in? Down here?
Yeah, that one.
So that tube there, there's a blower fan back there where it's plugged in, blowing cold air directly into the hot flames where the fire is going, right?
There you have it, folks.
Once it comes through here, once it gets into this area, it'll so it cooks. It'll come through there, and then through there, and through there, because the less density stuff, like the stuff that's got less density, will push the dense stuff through it, and eventually you get maple syrup on that side. So you got to switch it every day.
There you go. So that's it. So as the sap makes its way through here and heats up, it's getting less dense, and then it deposits here, and then eventually you check the temperature, and it pours out, and that is your syrup. Every day is a gift. Hey, look, we're in there.
This is our cupola with the cupola doors and stuff. We've got that little boat cleat there to pulled the rope, which is on the pulley system to open that door up there to let all the steam out so we can actually see. That's pretty much.
So this is the sap is doing his job right now, right?
Hey, you want to take a peek in here, Cooks?
Yeah.
Right here, you'll see it forming.
Now what's going on in here, Disco?
Just look right down in here. The sap is boiling. So we're making syrup.
All right, so that sap's going through the process. It comes in here, right?
That's not the right one.
And then up through.
What do we got for a temp over there, Bo? What are we at?
This one's at Okay, so our dial is on 4 out of 7. So we're gonna test it, and this is the hydrometer, right?
That's right.
And this is where we put the maple syrup. So you really hold this.
Beautiful. You like that color, Bo?
No,
Not sure yet?
not sure.
Undecided?
It's kind of dark syrup, so we'll take dark in there.
Dark's good?
Fill it right up, buddy.
Going to Florida, maybe.
Take a shot of that.
Summertime is not. Winter, that's a lot. Summer, Dina.
So now we're going to slowly set this hydrometer in. That's good. We'll slowly drop this hydrometer in without actually letting go of it. And what we're going to try to do is line that, the red line, right up with the top of the syrup. And if it sinks, it's not thick enough yet. Move his hand.
Yeah.
So it's not quite thick enough to be called syrup yet. So we need to cook it a little more.
Interesting.
All right, so that gets dumped back in there. Okay. Either one, dump it in quick.
Is that what you're trying to do?
All right, almost, not quite yet, but almost.
Similar?
I didn't hear about this one.
So I told Jason, I'm like, you be at the golf course at noon. Good. So we
Getting close, Bo, right?
Almost. Almost. Dean?
Yeah, we're getting close. So right now we're at 7.
Yeah.
We're at 7 at the gauge.
At 7. So
The gauge is 7.
test, just to make sure.
All right. Bo, a few words for the viewers?
No, not real. I don't know.
You guys have to rust it.
That's fine.
He's like, you know Chris Perrott? Like, you know him. Yeah. You? My dad's going to put him in the Hall of Fame.
We went to Hall of Fame together. I'm like, really?
We're a little bit faster. Yeah, really memorable. That was a real slow drop. You got it?
All right.
Now let's take a look at that red line. Don't drop it. Set it right down there.
Does it stay on the red line?
Yes, it does.
Drum roll.
Yeah.
It's maple syrup.
There we go. That's syrup, kids. All right, so now what?
Now we just
Like spank.
in there. Yeah.
And then open the valve.
All right, do you want to know a little bit about a small setup? So what we do is we test the maple syrup.
Just be loud.
So what we do is we test the maple syrup to make sure that it's right on the red line. Then you know its exact density, you know it's maple syrup, it's going to pour on your pancakes perfect. What we do with a small operation is we overcook it just a hair. We draw it off into our finish bucket, and then we draw off a little syrup that's not quite maple syrup, that's a little bit more runny, and we blend it into perfect maple syrup. If we were to draw off each time when it was exact maple syrup, we'd make a pint each time on a hobby setup like this. But if we blend it, if we overcook it a little bit and then blend it, then we'll end up with a gallon, gallon and a half, maybe 2 gallons each time.
All right.
It saves on washing filters and all that kind of stuff.
Hey yo! Brick, Keith Bricky, Northfield, Vermont. Brick. Hey yo!
Don't worry, we'll give you his address and phone number, and you can come visit him when you come up.
All right, so now, Bo, now we're pouring in. We're good to go.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this is actually, this is syrup now,
Yeah,
right?
this
We're
is
talking.
maple syrup.
You have that business?
Your pitcher? Hey, dude, my pitcher. I thought you said you had him trained.
That was not.
Duprey said that was, I think this was at my house.
Yeah, you tested it, right?
Hey, dude, why's your lawn on fire? Yeah, hey, forest fires, no shit, like seriously. Yeah.
Get it.
But keep an eye on that. Watch the runaway leaves.
Make sure.
Here, take this for a minute, buddy.
Yeah.
Dean, will you do that for a minute, buddy?
Yeah.
What do we got going on, Dino?
We're doing a test here. Make sure it's still right at the line while we're doing a draw. So we'll fill that up again. Make sure it's still right at the red line.
So double checking, basically.
Yep. So we're good. So we good. We can keep open that up, and
Away we go.
yep.
And there you have it, folks. That's the stage 1 of pure Vermont maple syrup right there.
So what we do as a hobby size operation is we use what's called a sock filter, and that gets rid of all the niter. We don't make enough syrup to use a filter press, so we have to send it through all these filters. And we'll send it through 4 of these thinner filters. By the time it ends up in the canner, there's no debris, no sugar sand, no niter left in the syrup, and it makes a clean quality product, hopefully. See. All right.
Is that good or you want more in there?
Hey, Dino, I'm on. I got you too.
Well, hang on, let me go by it.
Take that. Okay.
All right.
So what we're going to do is take the finished product. That looks like a dark robust right there. Maybe 2 gallons. We're going to send it through all these filters. We'll bottle a little test bottle, and sample it and see what kind of grade stickers we put on it. And we're done.
Putting that on, dude.
That is hot.
You're still here.
Yeah. Jeez, barely. Send it through 4 of these little filters. Get out all the niter and sugar sand. And all that is minerals that have been cooked out of the sap. Bigger operations have a filter press. They don't have to go through these hillbilly steps that we do. Shoot the breeze. He has a little booth down there. And just by bending this filter, we try to get the syrup up into a filter, part of the filter that hasn't been used. Makes it go through a little quicker. Scorches your hands. Sir. We'll put it on the heater. You heat it back up to 200 degrees and jug it. We're ready to go. So now we're going to fill up our little test bottle. Put enough in there so we can see what color it is, and everybody gets a little taste. We throw it in our little grade kit. We hold it up to see. So it looks like these two match. So that's going to be a dark robust.
Actually, Duke, can you hold it with this window light behind us? Yeah, there we go. There you go. Yeah, cool.
So we have way more orders for the dark stuff than we do the light stuff. So we make dark robust. That's fine with us.
Yeah, that's a nice color.
Beauty.
This will warm my fingers up by the end. We do a gallon jug of it every once in a while. That is warm.
Good one?
That's warm.
Oh yeah, toasty. I can feel that.
So we do a gallon jug like this. There's usually too many bubbles in the top, so we'll have to get it just right before we cap it. Yeah, that's
Hot.
really warm. Oh, Becky.
You didn't get a straw.
So we make sure that it's completely full. Spill a little bit. We're going to wash it off. We're going to set it on its side. And that way, if there's any air in there at all, it's going to touch that 200-degree syrup. And any bacteria that's left in there after it has boiled is going to be killed. And then that jug of syrup is good on your counter or in your cupboard for a decade easily. And you can open it up whenever. It won't be bad.
Huh. Is your hand still hot?
It's a little warm. Sweating like I stole something out of there.
Yep.
Breathing heavy.
You've been up here since last night?
Oh yeah. How late were we here, you know?
It was after midnight, right? We left here at midnight. We
One,
went back to your
no,
house.
later than that. Probably 1:30 we left here.
We had a half a loaf of banana bread. And then
I was hungry.
We put the boxing on.
Yeah, we were up to like 3.
That's when I keeled over. That's
We
it.
all finally went to bed.
Haven't woke
He
up
was
yet.
At 7:30. Let's go! Jesus.
I let you sleep. I was very quiet.
Well, that's 4 hours.
Filled to the brim.
Right to the top.
Jeez.
I don't know how you got up that early.
Cap that.
I opened my eyes and it was light out. I go, what the fucking time is it?
Where am I?
Couldn't find the phone. Nothing. I went and took a leak. And I looked out and I go, wow.
See if we got enough for a little guy.
7:30.
This will be
I've
tight.
never slept this fucking late. No, I haven't gone to fucking pass out.
It's because you drank a half
time.
a gallon of vodka last night. Along with 6 or 7 beers.
Yeah, home is that the kids are up or the dogs want to go out or something.
Mm.
Whoa! Easy, Bo.
Oh, sorry.
Let it slide this time.
Did I make it, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fun. Hey, Mr. Ricky, how are you?
Nope, new cat.
Hey, Mr. Ricky, how are you?
Where are they?
They're, we just got 14 chickens.
You got 14.
14 of them got
Okay, that's her.
That's it for now. All right, wait till the next pool, folks. All right, and there you have it, folks. Pure Vermont maple syrup from the South Village Sugar Shack. Duke, what you think about the weekend?
Ended up to be a productive weekend. No leaks. Sugar house is still standing. We made 12 gallons. Last year we had terrible weather. We made 26 gallons all year. So to have a 12-gallon weekend, pretty productive.
So to give everyone an idea, 12 gallons out of how much sap to begin with, about?
We had low sugar content in our sap. We were running 1.5, 1.6. That's 1.6% sugar per gallon. So we probably boiled 60 gallons to make a gallon of syrup. So we went through maybe 700 gallons of sap this weekend. It's a lot for a little sugar.
Yeah, but we went through more beer. happily. So
Yeah, we're right on pace with a record year for empty beer cans.
yeah. Well, there you go. All right, hey, thanks for having us,
Yeah.
man. Beautiful up here in Vermont. If you get a chance, folks, keep it local. Enjoy some pure Vermont maple syrup. All right, adios for now.